everyone, welcome to our first video. We really don't know what we're gonna call it right now.
We talked about it already, honey. We talked about what we're gonna call it.
No, I mean we had two options, but
no, we already talked about it. It was Mrs.
Mr. Mrs. and Mr.'s channel, or right? Mrs. and Mr. Yeah. So basically what we wanted to do was talk about all things controversial and sharing our unconventional or conventional opinions and ideas, and just to kind of connect with the audience and anyone who feel free to also connect with us. So this is like a no judgment zone. This is our real life opinions, experiences, you name it. So we're going to be digging deep on this channel. We're going to be talking about things from relationships to money, God, marriage, babies, religion, everything, you name it. So feel free to subscribe and also comment below if you want to join in on the fun.
Sure. And then also want to say too, it's a disclaimer that we don't say that our opinion is the only factual opinion.
Right.
It's just the fact that this is something that we both like. My wife said we both opinionated. So it's essential for us to just, start open up and dialogue. And then I think it's important to know our occupation so that one can really get an understanding of how open we're going to be. I just want to say that I am a local pastor and a school teacher, but that doesn't mean that the perspectives that I say is going to be like your traditional ideologies, if you will. We're really going to open up and be ourselves. So I pray you be yourself as you watch and continue to tune in as we continue to explore different topics and ideas.
Yes. And this is also going to be our experiences as well. So we're going to be sharing a lot about ourselves, which is the topic that we're going to be kind of starting off on today, is being true to yourself and, showing the real you. Right. Because once you really start to show that and start to open up, then you are able to be vulnerable with others and yourself. You're able to heal from things, and you're able to reach out to others who have may go through the same experiences as you. So this is fun. I think this would be a great experience for both of us.
For sure.
I'm willing to learn and learn more about you too as well.
Right, because basically, my wife and I were truly busy. So not only this is our time to just engage in different topics and discussions, but it's also a way for us to spend time with each other. And then also, we know we're talking about being the best you. So my wife just got finished saying that that's our topic. And it's good to know we must know who we are, because we always change. And I think sometimes people, especially relationships, marriages, because one has to get into a relationship before marriage, and many times people will then discredit somebody for even dating, but at the same time, one must date before they get married. But however, one changes. The person themselves must know that they're changing, and as well as the couple. Because I know my wife and I, when we first met, smoking weed, drinking, all these different things. So, and we met in school as an undergrad. So then, as times changed, it's like we change. I think even I probably sound different according to probably when they first met me.
Yeah. And disclaimer, we're drinking coffee, so if you see us drinking, that's what we're doing, and we love coffee. So so like I always say, because I was 18 and he was 25 when we first met,
right? Because we're 7 years apart,
right? So we're not the same people when we first met, and I always think about that, like like 25, like a 25, and now he's
Right.
35.
Right.
Like, he's a totally different person. And
That's
in
for sure.
those 10 years, like, he was so young, and I was 18, like,
Yeah.
straight up out the house, just moved out, you know, like, it's crazy. And I'm 28
Basically,
now.
still had milk behind the ears.
Right. So,
Basically.
So yeah, so we're
Yeah.
gonna kind of talk about some
Sure.
things, and we kind of wrote it down what we wanted to start talking about. And again, this first topic is being authentic and
Yeah.
being transparent and
Right.
being real, which is what the whole channel is about.
Right.
So we would like to kind of start off on one. Did you want to start it off?
Sure. All right.
Okay.
Optimizing growth. And again, we focus on, like, it seems like somewhere down the line, we have this big assumption of growth, but then it's like, how do I get there? Or what does it take for me to grow? And what does growing mean? Because growing can mean something totally different for another person. It could be the way they see themselves, the way somebody sees them, and all these different things. So I just think that optimizing growth is really potential. I think we both do. But not I know we both understand that optimizing growth is in one's nature. But that's all right. But like we first were talking about, in order for me to grow, I must know the areas of my life where I am the weakest. Oftentimes, most people say, well, I don't want to disclose my weaknesses because they are weak and it's going to make me weak. But if you really, you can like dive into our own personal lives. Like, for instance, reading was something that was totally difficult for me growing up, you know. And I realized it in order for me to change, in order for me to grow, in order for me to optimize that potential, it has to be stated. And then not only does it need to be communicated to oneself, because sometimes a person like myself can hide it from other people so much that I'm hiding it from myself. That I'm not even able to accept the fact that I need to change. Or I needed to change, that is. So then, and because of what other people are going to say. So optimizing growth is first realizing change, those areas, we have to realize that we need to change. Second, those areas, and then be willing to communicate that. And then it's a blessing now to say, and I'm going to hush up, that now the Lord has blessed me with the privilege not only to teach English, but then also to be currently getting my PhD in education. So it's like, to optimizing growth, one must say, okay, I needed to improve in this area, and then also my wife needs to know those areas so that it don't be a hindrance. And always other stuff that I need to grow in, obviously.
Right. Yeah, and you pointed out, like, you noticed that when you were younger, and now that you know how hard it was to, read and things like that, now you push yourself harder to go further. Like you said, you're getting your PhD, So I think realizing it helps you push harder.
Right.
And that's the true...
optimizing growth.
Optimizing growth,
But then the question is, what does optimizing growth mean to you?
I think that optimizing growth means that, like I said, you pushing harder, like you not content. You're not staying content and complacent upon like where you are. You always hungry for more. You're always going to get more. Like with me, I was in school for a long time getting my bachelor's degree, and then I was like, I'm never going back, blah blah blah. But the reason why I was saying I was insecure about my abilities to get a master's degree. I never thought that I could. I didn't believe in myself. But when I put all that aside and was like, you know what? I can get my master's degree. I'm smart enough to do this. I was like, yeah, I am going back to school and get my master's degree. And optimizing my growth in my field of, in my career. So even with wanting to have goals to move a step up in my career,
right.
Just kind of always thinking about the future, but at the same time, I feel like we all have goals and we all want things in life as well. So
right. And also, when it comes to optimizing growth, be willing to fail. Willing to. I think many people do not grow because they're afraid of failure. And oftentimes I tell my children that you're going to fail more than you win, but you only go remember your wins.
And I think another thing too with optimizing growth is learning your limitations.
Yeah. True.
You can't grow if you don't know what hinder you from growing.
Right.
So if it's a relationship, if it's a thought, if it's a feeling, if it's an insecurity, if it's you can't study because you like to party all the time, or you like to go drink and have fun all the time with your friends. You need to limit that, and you need to know those limitations so that you can go home and study. Like, okay, y'all, I'm gonna go to this party and stay an hour and have one drink or whatever. You may have to do that to finish school, because that was part of my problem when I was in undergrad. I wasn't focused at all. I was to the point where I thought I was going to a beauty pageant. I would take so long to get ready for class.
That'd be late for class.
And then be late for class, and then be like, well, I'm not gonna go because I'm late. Because it was like my mind was somewhere else. Like, what? Like no.
Right.
You need to get up, wash your face, brush your teeth. Don't worry about putting on makeup on, dressing up, and go to class. Forget that.
And then also, going back to the statement, and I know it's back and forth, but that's the beauty of Mrs. and Mr. And then that title even has connotation to something else. But anyways, I know we're going back and forth, but even the statement about failure, you're going to fail more than you succeed. And what that means is, to me that is, I graduated undergraduate at the age of 27. Okay, so that's a lot of failure. So you just can imagine of how that feels. But then once I graduated, that feeling no longer there. I can still remember the failure, but the success has just graduated undergrad, just walking across the stage. I can still picture that. So the thing is, when one is willing to keep going, that's a part of success. I mean, you're going to fail. You're going to feel like you're not reaching the next destination. You go to an interview and they don't hire you, so it's kind of like I'm going to the next interview, and it feels like, man, I'm still not successful, or anything, or like in a relationship. It's like we had one bad breakup. My wife and I, we had so many different disagreements. Oh man, to the point where we was we done with each other, known each other for 10 years, married for 5 going in December. Mm-hmm. So we had many breakups, but if those are failures.
Yes.
I'm through with you, packing up the clothes, getting ready to get out, calling her girlfriend coming in. That's another story. But no shade being thrown, just keeping it real. But the point is, if not giving up, that's a part of success. I mean, you're talking about optimizing growth.
Yes.
Just not going to just jump out the what's it called? What's the thing the baby's in?
The crib.
You jump out the crib and start walking.
Yes.
You know what I mean?
Yes.
So optimizing growth, willing to crawl, willing to be humble enough to say, all right, I know that this marriage, I want it to last, but I don't know if this is the right person, because we always arguing. I mean, the sex good, but besides the sex, we arguing all the time, and
well, you know what? I'm gonna say, but also realizing, being true to yourself too, realizing your mistakes. Right. We are so quick to be he did this or she did this. Oh, wait a minute.
That is optimizing growth. Yeah.
Be true to yourself. Okay, and this is easier said than done. I'm not saying I'm perfect or anything like that.
I mean, neither.
But
Lord knows.
yeah, like it's like you said, like back then where it was like, man, forget you, I'm out of here. You know, we're not doing this no more. But I feel like it had we like took a step back and really like kind of been like, whoa, I was tripping on that, or I did something or said something that was disrespectful. I think a lot of those times would have been avoided.
Yeah.
But and also being true to yourself, like when I said I wasn't focused in undergrad. Like, I have to tell myself, like, Stephanie, like, you need to get this together.
And
like,
be honest with the voice.
Yes. Like, don't push the voice down. Like, it's there to tell you, like, girl, get it together. You know, so you have to be true to yourself. And in that aspect, and you have to be true to yourself in all other aspects of your life.
Right.
Like, when you get your haters, then
and we all got those. Let's just keep it 100. We all got haters.
Yes.
We all got haters.
And being real.
Yeah.
And don't try to make your haters your friends.
Right.
Being fake.
Right.
So, you know, just being like I said, being true to yourself, staying true to yourself is important. Like I said, we're not perfect at doing this. We you know, this is something that we struggle with as well.
Yeah.
But it's just to
speak for yourself. I'm just playing.
It's just to you know, it's just to like encourage, like just
for sure.
Continue to be real, like, and that's something I have struggled with for a long time, like, and I'm, you know, it still creeps up here and there, but you know, like at the end of the day, I'm gonna say Stephanie is gonna make Stephanie happy. And sometimes you have to be that selfish. Yeah. You know, sometimes you have to be that selfish.
You know, right. When we start to there's so much just in my head right now, but just to piggyback off of that concept, so it doesn't seem like you have to go from one concept to the other. Being optimizing growth, it's really have to be selfish so that you can be strong enough for the other person.
Yes.
Like, for instance, to the point where, like, if your enemies, your haters, your naysayers, because we all have them.
Yeah.
And we always say that my haters are my motivators. But oftentimes, it's easy. You know, we were talking earlier before we started how, you know, especially when you go to church, or if you are a minority in a predominantly white field, you know, let's just keep it real. You know, it's easy to start to culturally assimilate. And I'm not saying that's not positive or negative. I'm just saying. But it's easy to suck into their perception. But then you're never optimizing your growth because you settling for what somebody else said of you. And that's never was you in the first place. So then you feel like, why am I unhappy? It's because I never was me. And then why don't people like me? Because you never showed them who you really are. So it takes a while for you to say, you got to go in it a little selfishly. Like, I'm about to make this happen.
Yes.
Regardless if you're going to support me or if you're going to say that, I'm not even going to listen to that. And it doesn't mean that you to the point where you're not including people who you like.
Yes.
But there will be times when you have to be selfish to succeed.
Oh, yes.
You know, because if you don't, then you're going to fall in the trap of doing what somebody else wants you to do.
Absolutely. And, you know, success, like that old saying, is lonely at the top.
In all areas.
But no, for real though.
In all areas.
Yes, because
all areas.
Yeah, and it's not to say like we at the top or nothing like that. I don't want to come off like.
No, definitely not.
But it's just true. Like you have to be kind of selfish, like even in and that sometimes it's not a bad thing. You know.
I'm sorry. You know this right. You struck a nerve.
Yeah.
Families. Family members. So it's just not talking about just societal issues. Even families, like for instance, you used to be broke. You know, it's kind of like Mike Jones back then.
Right. They didn't want me. Now I'm hot. They all on me.
That's all areas of life. It could be family. Like for instance, you know, I mean, people just don't want to accept the new you.
Yeah.
I mean, they're like being lonely at the top. It ain't just money wise. It's like they don't want to accept the new you. So then it's like I can't really kick it with you. I can't hang around with you because you don't smoke weed. But the same person that smoked weed still drinks wine. But since you don't fit into what they want you to fit into, you can't. They don't want to kick it with you. So it leaves you can't even kick it with the people you grew up with. You know what I mean? Then work.
talk about blended families for some of you who are married with children before you got married.
Right.
It's just like at the time, like, or biracial people, you know, because I have a lot of biracial students, and I love them. But most of the times, what I see is, and I'm shut up so you can say,
No.
I got that. Listen, struck a nerve. I'm telling you. Oftentimes, the child, and I think this is going to what we're saying. It's lonely at the top, or for people who are dynamic. My kids are biracial. Some of them say like, well, I'm Chinese and I'm black. Which one am I? So then with them, it's difficult.
Yeah.
But the point is, you still have to be yourself regardless. And you know why it's lonely at the top? Because there ain't too many people that's willing to be themselves.
Oh.
So many people fake and phony trying to be what somebody else wants to be.
Come on now. Preach. Well, I think that was a good, first discussion there. And we're going to kind of keep it short for the first one. Right. I think that...
well, she's the producer, so I like...
No. But, yeah, we're probably going to try to do this once a week.
Let's do it.
Once a week. You should have a video from us. We're going to commit.
And it's informative and motivational.
Yes.
It doesn't. And don't think that you don't even want to get motivated because.
Oh yeah.
I'm listening too.
Yes.
You know?
And just like you always say, as a pastor, when you preaching to people,
right.
You're not preaching at them. You're preaching like with them or something.
Yeah,
like
right.
You don't preach on stuff that you haven't gone through
or going through
at that time.
Amen.
So this is stuff we going through too.
Yes,
this is like
right.
That's why I say it's a community. Like we like to interact, and sometimes we don't unfortunately have like people right there to interact with, and this is a great way. And we live in a world of social media right now, and this is a way to reach people and interact. That's it.
And please feel free to interact with us. So like not only subscribe, but then also have comments. If you have comments, if you agree or disagree. Now listen, I used to be one that didn't want people to disagree, but it's fine. Like if we say something you like, I totally disagree. Just state where you're from, and if you feel free, and we can address those issues.
Yes.
Because let's talk one to another.
Yes, and if you have any questions too, leave them down below in the comment section. Right. Yeah, if you have any questions, leave them down below, and don't forget to subscribe and look for new videos once a week from us. We will be uploaded once a week on this channel. So thank you so much for tuning in, and we'll see you again next week.
All right, peace out. And one thing, always remember, be the best you. Peace.
Peace.
That's it.
That's good.
Good.
Mwah.
Good.
How you feel?
Great.